In the personal story segment tonight, Donald Trump's scorched earth strategy against Hillary Clinton. Trump is holding nothing back, going after both Bill and Hillary Clinton. Just this week on Hannity, Trump called out Bill Clinton over his controversies with women, including an accusation of rape. Mrs. Clinton was asked about that.
Do you ever feel compelled to defend your honor, the honor of your husband?
No.
With statements that he's making that go to the core of the relationship?
No, not at all. I know that that's exactly what he is fishing for, and, you know, I'm not going to be responding.
But will her non-response strategy work? Remember, trying to stay above the fray didn't work for Trump's other GOP opponents. Joining us now to analyze from Washington, Ned Ryan, a Republican strategist, and here in New York, Democratic strategist Bernard Whitman. So what do you think of this, Ned? Is this a smart strategy to take the high road for now against Donald Trump?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, first of all, she has to put away Bernie Sanders. But, you know, looking at Donald Trump, I have to say as a Republican, regardless of what you think of Donald Trump and who he is, what he says, any of this, it's refreshing as a Republican to see a Republican on the attack, not defending, not making excuses, but a full-fledged ears-back attack. And I think it's been very interesting to see over the last week that he's made it very clear that everything's on the table. Everything will be on the table. There will be no holds barred. And I think this is going to be problematic for Hillary as she pivots towards the general, because she's not the greatest candidate. Let's face it. She's not Bill Clinton. She's a plotting candidate.
She admits
I call it feet of clay.
She herself will tell you, I'm not the politician that my husband is.
Exactly. And I think the fact that Donald Trump will attack from every different angle, I think eventually it's going to get to her, throw her off. I think it's a good strategy for him. Never defend, always attack.
Let's talk about Hillary. Yeah. At what point does she turn? I mean, we know the Clintons like to go negative. They're going to go negative. They got a ton of money to go negative. When does that happen?
Look, I think this is undoubtedly going to be the most negative, nasty, divisive campaign in history, which is saying a lot. But in a street fight that this is going to be, I give huge advantage to Hillary, and here's why. Because there's not a single thing that can be said about Hillary Clinton that hasn't been said before. None of it's new information. Whereas Donald Trump, every single day, there's something else. Like today, he goes out and says, you know, we should let people carry around loaded guns in schools and churches and synagogues and parks and office buildings and post offices. I mean, what sort of country would we be with that, number one? Two, he'll go out and say, you know what, some nasty thing about women, let's pull out of NATO, let's give nuclear weapons to South Korea and Japan. This is a gift that keeps on giving, and I think...
What's happening, though, Bernard? His numbers keep going up, no matter what he said from the very beginning, whether it was about the John McCain comment or the reporter for the New York Times. Everyone said, oh, that's it, Trump's done. Can you believe he just said that?
I do give him credit,
and it keeps getting bigger and bigger. He's been able to consolidate
the party, and I believe by June 15th, when Bernie Sanders is out and Hillary Clinton is obviously the nominee,
game changer.
She is going to be able to unite this party.
Bernie Sanders out, Hillary Clinton focuses on Trump. Game changer for you?
You know what? I mean, well, let's face it. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with Bernard. I think this is going to be an ugly campaign. I think it's going to be one of the ugliest we've seen in recent times. I, however, think that Donald Trump is better suited to this than Hillary Clinton because he's much more nimble. He's much better on the attack. And Hillary, again, is a plotting candidate who has to have structure, who has to follow step after step after step. And I think it's going to benefit Donald. That all to say, I think the thing that's going to help Donald in the general is this is the year of the outsider. Nothing screams more establishment than Hillary Clinton. Nothing screams outsider more than Donald Trump, and I think this is the year of the outsider. People are looking for somebody that's maybe not as scripted, somebody that's more authentic, somebody that is a new face, a fresh face, a different approach, not taking us back to the 1990s. Let's look forward. Let's look ahead. Let's have some new ideas. I think this is going to be a very interesting campaign, and I actually give the advantage to Donald when they start to debate head-to-head.
Fox News poll has Donald Trump leading Hillary Clinton by 16 points with independents. Let me ask you this, though. You're a Democrat. You're a Hillary hater. You're a Bernie Sanders supporter. Not you. I mean, just a random Democrat says, you know, I can't vote for Hillary. I don't like the establishment factor going on. Didn't work on the GOP side. It's not working on the Democrat side. I can't vote for Hillary. Does Donald Trump get some of the Bernie Sanders supporters?
I think there's no doubt that Donald Trump will get some Bernie Sanders supporters, but I think there's even more likelihood that Hillary Clinton is going to get a lot of GOP support from people that say 1 in 5 Republicans, remember, say, I would never vote for Donald Trump, and I would consider voting for Hillary Clinton.
So.
You look at the negatives. The negatives that Donald Trump has among women, 63%. 2 in 3 women are negative towards Donald Trump. 3 in 5 Latinos are negative towards Donald Trump. I mean, this guy, he starts attacking Hillary Clinton for being a woman. for being responsible for her husband's affairs, the negatives on Donald Trump among women are going to skyrocket. It's going to make him unelectable.
Here's the thing, though. Going back to Republican voters, somehow voting for Hillary, I think what's becoming more and more crystallized, especially with Donald Trump releasing his list of potential Supreme Court justices, people are realizing this election is going to be about the Supreme Court. It's going to be about Obamacare. I think as more and more people get closer to the general, some of these people that are saying we'll never vote for Trump, guess what? I bet 90% of them will actually vote for Donald Trump.
Bernard, again, that Fox News poll had Donald Trump leading with white women. Donald Trump's running against a white woman.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? The average of the last 6 presidents who have run, 39% of whites have voted. We typically, in the Democratic Party, do have a problem with whites. But you know what? 84% of people of color are supporting Hillary Clinton. It is almost mathematically impossible for Donald Trump to be able to achieve enough support among whites, 53% right now. Mitt Romney got 57% of white votes. He needs like 65% of white votes.
He's doing better with women. Believe it or not, Donald Trump is polling better with white women than
where Mitt Romney did. He's underperforming where John McCain did. And
not with white women, though. Not with white women.
I don't know about that.
No. There was actually Romney had a slight deficit to Donald Trump.
He's massively underperforming with Latinos.
Women, Romney performs better than.
Which means that white men hate Donald Trump. That's what you're telling me.
What are you talking about? White men? He's crushing it with white men. Am I right, Ned?
Yeah, he is. And I think the thing that is interesting is, listen, I do think Hillary has a little bit of a likability gap. You get into the election. Again, I think the support for Donald Trump is a lot more enthusiastic. There's a lot more of that on his side than on Hillary's side. He's doing very well with white men.
You know what it is? I'll give you this, Bernard. He needs to do a little better with Hispanics. He just needs to get better. Not much.
You know what?
No, he doesn't need that much. He's in the high teens. If he gets in the mid-20s, he's got it nailed down.
The next thing we're likely to hear from Donald Trump is, let's put up a mosquito net and keep out Zika.
All right, we'll leave it right there.
I will say this: don't bet against Donald Trump.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Ned and Bernard, thank you very much.